Good morning. It's good to see everybody here this morning. We have a good attendance again today, and we're thankful for that. We're now live on Facebook, so we want to welcome our Facebook viewers, and good to have them with us. We are in Matthew chapter 21, beginning with verse 23. Two questions are asked here, or it's a two-part question. By what authority are you doing these things, and who gave you this authority? When I was in preaching school, one of my instructors used to say, think sermonically. Think sermonically. And what he meant was, as things happen in life, as news unfolds, as things start to happen, think of things you can build sermons around. And the last 2 months and the last 5 days really have come out, and something has stood out to me that I could think sermonically on. Here's what it is. By what authority? As you know, the governor of Illinois issued a stay-at-home order, and he had executive approval, or had legislative approval to do that for 30 days. Well, then he extended it another 30 days, and that's where the by what authority came in. And a lawsuit was filed against our governor because the person filing the lawsuit said he had legislative authority for the first 30 days, but he didn't for the next 30 days. So an authority question came up. Then our governor started issuing all kinds of executive orders. And people were saying, by what authority is he doing that? Now we have people who are riding in cities, breaking into places, vandalizing. And again, we might wonder, where's the authority? So I began to think about that. And I thought, it's good to preach on the subject of authority. Usually at least once a year I try to preach on something about authority. There are 3 sources of authority that all of us are involved with or have involved us. One is internal authority. The second is external authority. And the third is divine authority. Let's look at those 3 this morning. Internal authority, that's me. External authority, that's somebody else. And divine authority, that's God himself and Jesus. In our text, we have Jesus in the temple, and this temple area is where the elders and the chief priest would often be found, and he comes to the elders and the chief priest, and they come to him, and they ask him this authority question. Now here is a group of individuals that can extend authority to people. We know, for example, in Acts chapter 22, that Paul got letters from the elders to go to Damascus to haul away saints to go to prison. And then in Acts 26, when he's standing before Agrippa, he said he got authority from the chief priest to do it. So here you have 2 groups of people, the elders and the chief priests, who themselves grant people authority, that is, those that were under Judaism, grant them authority to do things. And they're asking Jesus an authority question. Notice again the 2 parts to it. By what authority, and who gave you this authority? Again, if we go by internal authority, that means it's right here. I am the authority of it. So let's first look at that, internal authority. In our lives, at some point in time, all of us will be doing internal authority. I want to do it because I want to do it. I want to do it because it feels good. I want to do it because that's what I desire. I want to do it, fill in the blank. Internal authority. And I do it because I've always done it that way. Of course, Judges 21:25, in those days there was no king in Israel, and every man did that which was right in his own eyes. There's internal authority. Right. The word for authority in our text is exousia. It means power. It can be translated sometimes obedience, but the idea is the right to do it. Who gave him the right to do it? So every man did that which was right in his own eyes. That means he's his own authority. And he's decided that I'm going to do it what I want to do. This was probably first seen with Adam and Eve deciding to do it their way and not God's way. But we have another example in Leviticus 10, verse 1 and 2, where Nadab and Abihu, sons of Aaron, took each of them his censer and put incense thereon and offered strange fire, which the Lord commanded them not. They got fire from some other source than what God ordained. And Leviticus 10:2 says fire from heaven came and destroyed them. they did it their own way. They thought of it their own selves, and the focus was self, not God. The focus was my way, not their way. I was listening to Frank Sinatra the other day and his song, My Way. Have you ever listened to the words of that song very closely? He talks about he stumbled and he's fallen. Paul Anka wrote it. He stumbled and he fell and he picked himself up. But the big thing was he did it his way. What's more, much more than this, I did it my way. A lot of people operate in life that way. In religious circles, in circles in general, I just do it my way. No matter what anybody else says, my way is the highway I'm going to follow. In Jeroboam, in 1 Kings chapter 12, we read Jeroboam was king of Israel. Rehoboam, you remember, was king of the southern kingdom. Rehoboam was Solomon's son. And Jeroboam decided that if he didn't do something, that everybody was going to Jerusalem and Judah and worship there and follow Rehoboam. And so Jeroboam decided to ordain his own feast day. He ordained a special place where people could worship. He said, it's too far for you to go to Jerusalem and worship in 1 Kings 12. And so he ordained Dan, or made an altar at Dan, and told him to go to Dan to worship. And the text says, in 1 Kings 12, verse 33, this he devised in his own heart. As a matter of fact, in 1 Kings, it also says in chapter 12 that this worship became a sin. But I want you to notice that phrase, he devised it in his own heart. He changed the priest's day, he changed the place, he changed the type of worship, he changed everything about worship, but he devised it